Hi. How are you all on this fabulous Tuesday? There we go. How is everyone? I'm just setting up my chat stuff over here. So just give me a sec. There we go. Okay. And yes, John M, another live. Where I know you guys like really up and close, but nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. Well, thank you so much, Little Star 23. I think you're a ray of sunshine. What's up, Rhonda C? Isabel, hello, hello. Goddess Lucida? Lucida? Did I say it right? Thank you so much. They're going on, it'll be 2 weeks come this Friday, so I need to change them, but that's the only thing with doing the gel nails is I'm someone that likes to change my nail polish quite often, but I see that I'm allowing them to stay on longer, like the one color. I can see how I'm giving into that and just letting it because it doesn't chip, right? So anyway, but, oh, thank you, Rhonda. You like the pillows? These are probably my favorite ones. Favorite ever. Anyway. Thank you, Surf and Honeybee. Oh my God, you guys are killing me with the beautiful comments. Thank you so much. I hope it was good things, Joy. I hope you were thinking good things about our chat. I just clicked on an old video of yours with this, and this live came up at the same time. I guess, Sally, you manifested this. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you so much. I'm loving that you guys are loving the pillows. I love when you guys notice the little details. It means something to me, okay? It means something. It's the little things. Is it possible to change the past? Yep. Tara Sugar, thank you. My God, you guys are being so nice to me today. Thank you. I just shifted yesterday and feel so calm about my manifestation. My manifestation. Your manifestation. Well done. Sounds like somebody's in the wish fulfilled. All right. Let me see. Franny L, thank you very much. Could use a zhuzh and a reminder about how to dissolve circumstances. Old story crept in. I reacted, but went right back to my decision and feel powerful today. Timelines collapsing. Franny L, quite frankly, when you make a decision to be a particular version of yourself, if anybody's new to my channel or new to manifesting, when I say making the decision to be new self, I'm referring to the self that has the manifestation. So in other words, the wish fulfilled state. When you make that decision, when you choose the state of the wish fulfilled, right? When you're embodying that, and then the 3D reflects something, let's say, that we don't exactly love. Maybe something uncomfortable, maybe something the opposite of what we're manifesting. I do believe that is evidence of the old timeline collapsing. That is my personal opinion. Am I trying to say that something, if something terrible or something shitty or uncomfortable doesn't manifest, that it means it's not collapsing? No, not necessarily. I'm just saying from my own personal experience, and obviously through coaching of others, I have seen that. I have seen that more than once. So again, I do not believe that, God or the universe is testing us. But I think viewing it as that test is helpful. But again, I don't believe you're being tested, but having the mindset that it is a test, in my opinion, helps you to make the decision of how you're going to perceive whatever it is that's showing up. Because it's very easy to go back to the old state, right? It's very easy to go back to the old thinking just because that was our normal. That was our dominant. So when you choose instead, again, why I said I think it's easier to view it as a test. When you think of it as, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to view this or perceive this or respond to this necessarily like my old self, that is evidence of your own shift. It's you making that decision with conviction that you're standing in your decision, like Neville Goddard said, brazen impudence. So yeah, I do think it could be timelines collapsing, absolutely. And the fact that, okay, the old story crept in, you might have had a little, reaction, but you went right back to your decision. I would consider that somebody passed the test. Somebody stood in brazen impudence. Well done. It's so easy to view reality when it's not looking the way we want it to. Isn't it so easy to go back to the old thinking and give in? Where what does Neville Goddard say? The disciplined mind. The disciplined mind. Those are the peeps that transcend their state of consciousness and get their desire. And that's why I said, it's so easy to give in to the old thinking. We say that manifestation as a whole is easy because it is. Our feelings and emotions make it feel difficult. But again, the disciplined mind, that's what helps us to stand in our decision. And then it is those who choose to be disciplined with their mind. Again, this isn't about perfection. But those that choose to discipline the mind, those are the peeps who get their desires. So well done, Franny L. Well done. Franny L again, member for 22 months. Thank you very much. You're glowing. The pink looks so great on you, by the way. Franny L, you and I are new best friends. Thank you so much. That was very nice of you. Especially to use your free member chat to say that. To say something nice to me. I do not take that lightly. Thank you very much. Oh my God, you guys are so good to me today. I mean, you guys are always good to me, but you get what I'm saying. Thank you. Okay, hold on one moment. Okay. There we go. That should be easier for the mods. Wishy3, thank you very much. Hello, Kimmy. Beautiful as always. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Thank you, Wishy. Still manifesting my SP. I'm trying my best not to feel like I'm manifesting them, but it's hard not to be aware of that. Love you always. IBS subliminal soon. If you're new here and you don't know what Wishy's talking about, a year or two or maybe 3 years ago, we had a live stream and someone asked me about making a night meditation recording. And I started laughing because I'm like, can you imagine me making a night meditation? Because I'm sassy. I don't think I could get through it without laughing at some point. So I joked and said the only type of night meditation tape that I would ever make was one for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, something along those lines. Or it was somebody said that in the comments and I laughed and agreed. One of those two things happened. So, because I can't talk like this all the time and be serious. It's just not my personality. You know what I mean? All right, so as far as you being aware that you're manifesting your specific person, I'm trying my best not to feel like I'm manifesting them. First of all, it's not that you can't be aware. And I think that that's a big misconception in this community. Clearly, we are aware of what our 3D appears like to us. So I'll use the example of clearly you can be aware, you can accept that your specific person isn't sitting next to you on the couch. You can be aware of that and not necessarily ruin anything. It's not that you can't know what's happening around you, but it's the perspective you choose of what it means that matters, in my opinion. So that feeling of, I feel like I'm still manifesting them. Okay, well, what does that mean to you, though? Is that a negative? Or do you have the knowing that, no, but this is going to happen. I know it is. I know I'm, the woman or man who has it all. I know that's what's happening. I know I'm in that reality. I might not see it with my eyeballs, with my senses, but I know who I'm being. And if you can answer that with knowing you are who you claim to be, then don't worry about it. Seriously. But if you view it as something negative, and you're viewing reality as, I still don't have what I want, this doesn't seem to be working, that kind of a mindset, that's what you want to reframe. So it really depends on what your perspective is. No longer manifesting. I have it now. That's right, Rhonda. Yes. So wishy, does that make sense? No, it's not. I know it's going to happen and keep saying he's my boyfriend. Good. Good. Then don't stress it. Again, we can be aware of the physical 3D around us. We can be aware. We can accept what we think we see. But it's how we feel or what we believe about it that matters. Oops. Amber, thank you very much. Hey, Kim. Logical brain fights me because SP lives in Europe, but I'm affirming we're together now. Is it okay to say he's on his way to see me? Also, it's someone who doesn't know me, but I know him. That's irrelevant unless you think it is relevant, first of all. If you believe it's relevant that, your specific person doesn't know who you are, can I just say, okay, clearly this is how you know manifestation is perfect and that nothing happens by coincidence, because I made a video, I don't know what day it went up, and I was talking about specific people. I think it went up last week. And I was talking about anybody manifesting a specific person that maybe A, they don't know yet, or B, your specific person doesn't know you in the physical. That I said, how do you know that your specific person hasn't encountered you in a dream? How do you know that hasn't happened? Well, you don't know. I mean, when you do connect in the physical, it wouldn't shock me to hear that they had a dream about you, but they just didn't know who you were yet. But they've already encountered you, right? If you're connected to consciousness. Now, granted, I'm not saying that has to happen. I'm saying, but who's to say it hasn't? And then today, I was watching a neurosurgeon, our former neurosurgeon. So this is a neuroscientist, but I don't think they're a surgeon anymore. It's why they call themselves a former neurosurgeon, who is starting to feel more comfortable talking about consciousness. And quite frankly, what I see in this video is he's waking up. He's coming to the understanding that he's manifesting his reality. And he was talking about how, as a neurosurgeon, he went through a lot of years of schooling to learn about the mind. And in conversation, so obviously this was brought up more than once throughout his education, that there is no direct answer about consciousness in the scientific world, I'm saying, in the medical world. They have their theories, but they have no solid, there hasn't been a solid test, as basically as science does, right? It tests something repeatedly to get the same answer so they can say, hey, this is what happens. And he says the struggle is that consciousness is, as a scientist, it's consciousness testing consciousness, right? Because that's what we are, consciousness. And he was sharing some experiences that he's had that he cannot explain, which is opening his eyes to there must be more to this, right? So one of the things he experienced was he was going on some kind of hiking gig with one of his friends the next morning. And that night, he had a dream that he was with his friend, the friend he was going to see the next morning. He had a dream that they were hanging out together in his dream. And so when he saw his friend the next morning, he was laughing about it and saying, hey, I had a dream about you last night. And his friend was like, oh my God, I had a dream about you. And the two of them started talking about their dream. They had the same exact dream. And he said, like, that's something he's never forgotten. And I guess was a part of his coming to the understanding that there is more to our mind than what we know so far in the 3D world, I'm saying. So if he had that experience of encountering his friend and his friend seemed to have the same experience, this is why I say I don't think dreams are just dreams. I think you are untethered to the physical body when you're dreaming. It's movement. You are free to hop around to any reality easily, effortlessly. That's why you can do things instantly in your dreams, okay? Because you don't have this keeping you grounded in what feels like this one physical reality. Regardless, my point in bringing that up is who's to say that your specific person, although you say they don't know you, who's to say you haven't had dreams together? Who's to say that your specific person hasn't encountered you in the dream? No one can say that that's not possible. No one can say that. So whether they know you in the physical 3D at this moment is completely irrelevant unless you decide it is relevant, right? Because remember, manifestation as a whole is you experience in physical reality that which you believe to be true. So what do you believe is possible for you when it comes to you and your specific person? Because I'm telling you, the fact that your person's in Europe, it's really irrelevant. That's not stopping you from being connected in consciousness to your person. That doesn't mean that a series of events can't unfold to unite you two. So the logical mind is going to argue back with you because that's what we're all conditioned with. Your job is just to return to your decision. Return to the state of the wish fulfilled. And not beat yourself up for days that your brain was fighting you. You're hearing thoughts. You're hearing negative thoughts. Just because you have a negative thought does not mean that that's automatically going to manifest. Just because you have any kind of thought doesn't mean you've ruined anything, nor does it symbolize that there's something wrong, like as if you're doing something wrong on your manifestation journey or in your manifestation game, right? Your routine, your techniques, who you're choosing to be. I believe that having doubts, having fears are just a normal part of being a human. So the less you fear the thoughts you're having, the less you're fighting them, and therefore the less they come. And the more confident you are in your decision that you are who you claim to be. Do you see what I mean? So where he's located, I understand that logically we might view that as, well, it's not like I can go knock on his door, Kim. I understand that as far as physical 3D goes, but it's not stopping you from manifesting him. Nothing has to make logical sense for it to work. It's not your job to come up with the logical way a manifestation can come. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that absolutely wonderful that we never, ever have to come up with the plan of how something manifests? All we have to do is focus on the wish fulfilled. Focus on being the version of ourself that has the desire. Think about what we want to manifest and think about being the version of ourselves that has the desire. That's all we have to do. That's our only requirement. So all the little details that we think are, getting in the way or are obstacles to what we want, they're not really obstacles. They're not anything at all, literally. Whether it's a person, whether it's the person's location, doesn't matter. So just return to your decision. Don't assume that because you're having opposing thoughts that this is ruined, because it's not. I would love to, Eric. I would be down to do a podcast, yes. I'm open to collaborations, okay? I am. Barbara, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. My SP is getting married in a couple of days. I'm not heartbroken anymore, LOL. Just tired. I want it to work, but I also feel like I'm letting go. No, I also feel like letting go. Advice? I feel I wasted so much time. You have not wasted any time, Barbara. You have not wasted any time. I understand from your logical mind or the logical 3D physical perspective, your person marrying someone else. I understand logically why you might see this as a waste of time or feeling like letting go. I understand. But everything happens for a reason. And I don't mean how the 3D defines that statement. I mean that if you've made a decision that you want to experience a particular desire, everything is happening for a reason, whether you can make logical sense of it or not. And I don't mean this flippantly, but whether you make logical sense of it or not is irrelevant. I know it feels relevant. It's irrelevant. So I can agree with you, thinking about the person you've been manifesting, marrying someone else, to the logical 3D world, logical people would view that as, whoop, manifestation failure, didn't work, give up, you're stupid for continuing this, give up, you're wasting your life away. But that's their limited perspective. It doesn't have to be yours. So logically, I understand why you're frustrated. And I understand why that particular circumstance feels heavy. So you have to ask yourself, do you really want this person? Do you really want to have the experience of being in a relationship with this person? And if the answer is yes, then as Neville Goddard would say, deny your senses. Deny what you're experiencing. We've been conditioned to think of that as that's craziness. It's crazy. Deny my senses, pretend something's not happening. No. We don't have to pretend it's not happening. But we don't have to give it that heavy, logical, physical 3D meaning that this didn't work. It might not make logical sense to you why in the hell SP marrying somebody else would be a part of your unfolding. But this is exactly why it's not up to us to figure out how things unfold, how things come to us. What do you think people, when they get married, they're locked away for the rest of their lives? Quite frankly, unfortunately, it's quite common for people to get married and quickly divorced. It happens all the time. I'm not wishing that on people. I'm just saying it's all in perspective. If you view that as finality, or too difficult of a hurdle, I can understand why you view it that way, but it's only because you're thinking logically. You're viewing it logically, which this is not the land of logic. This is the land of illogical. This is the land of possibilities. And if you're feeling like that letting go, listen, let go. Let go of it. See, you're probably, without meaning to, in that place of fighting with the 3D, clutching it. And that's probably why you feel, I bet, exhausted. Exhausted. And viewing the circumstance as a big obstacle. Let it go. Surrender it. And instead focus on who you are, who you want to be, without even bringing the focus to SP. Just so you can detach from the story we have regarding specific person. This is not an impossible manifestation, but see, that's my viewpoint. So what matters is yours. I'm not someone that if I see something in the 3D that I don't love, I don't view it as that thing is never going to get out of my way. Now, was I always this person? No. No, I used to be very logical. Very logical. The 3D is not permanent. Nothing about reality is permanent. It is very malleable. And it's changing all the time. Which is why we experience sometimes circumstances that seem to make no sense to what we're manifesting. Those are your pivotal moments to not give up, to not throw in the towel. If I were you, I would surrender that manifestation. And by surrender, I don't mean give up. I mean surrender it. Not trying to clutch it and prevent or stop things from happening. And I would put the focus on who I would want to be. So I'm just guessing that you want to be someone who is married. I would put the focus on me and what it would feel like to be that version of myself and put all the focus here. So tapping into that wish fulfilled of being a woman or man, to anybody else who's listening, who's married, who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. And if you can bring in specific person, thinking about specific person, without feeling yucky, then feel free to do so. If you feel the resistance because of what seems to be happening in 3D, then I would not bring in specific person yet. Just so you can put the focus on who you want to be. And let the 3D unfold. Meaning I wouldn't fight against it. I wouldn't fight it. I wouldn't try to fix things. I would put all the focus on me. And you watch things change. You watch. You watch your reality change. It will. You are welcome, Barbara. Well, it said Barbara. So maybe it's not pronounced Barbara. 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 Oops, okay. John M., thank you very much. If my SP is seemingly throwing the kitchen sink at me in order to not meet up, and I set a boundary and walk, have I ruined the manifestation? Nope. How should I proceed? I feel okay. But what if ghosted? Okay. So you get the feeling that SP is throwing out excuses to not get together. You set the boundary and backed away, I'm assuming, backed off and walk. I look at boundary setting as you choosing to be a version of yourself. So in other words, when we want to manifest being in a relationship, and when we're encountering a version of our specific person who isn't that great, who isn't showing up the way we want, the idea is, when it comes to manifestation, is being the self that has the desire. So if you know at your heart that the version of you in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship would not be encountering a version of specific person doing whatever they can to not hang out with you, you know that that version of you would not accept that. More than likely wouldn't be experiencing it, but you would have an expectation of how you would want to be treated, what you would tolerate and what you wouldn't. And boundary setting, to me, is you showing up as that version of yourself. And again, I don't mean it's throwing ultimatums at people in the 3D. That's not what I mean. There's a difference in delivery. This is what I'm willing to accept. This is what I'm willing to participate in 3D reality, and what I'm not. And what you, specific person, do with that is up to you, right? No ill feelings, but this is what I do and this is what I don't. I'm not enjoying this. I'm going to take a step back, right? I'm setting that boundary. I'm taking the step back. It's up to you what you do with that specific person. While up here, I would be putting the focus on who the hell I want to be. And quite frankly, I have done that. I have done that. Again, not threatening anyone in the 3D, not saying, if you don't stop doing this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. No, none of that bullshit, because that's coming from the state of neediness, the state of lack. Setting a polite boundary of, I'm not enjoying this. This doesn't really feel good. Not enjoying this moment. So I'm going to take a step back and let you be you. This is what these are my expectations, and that's all right if you're not ready to fill those. That's okay. I love myself enough to not keep pretending that I'm enjoying something when I'm not enjoying it. Okay? That is such a different set of energy than throwing ultimatums. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope you're getting what I'm saying. So, how to proceed? I would be focusing on who the hell I want to be. So the dominant focus should be on you. And I personally, so this is how I would handle it. I wouldn't be reaching out. I wouldn't be poking at them. I wouldn't be trying to get them to ask you out. So for example, I was just asked a question like this. If specific person has mentioned, let's get together, we should get together, and then doesn't take the action to actually schedule that togetherness with you, the last thing I would do is keep bringing it up to specific person. That's the last thing I would do. Why? Because all that's doing is putting you right back into the chasing place, which is neediness, which is desperation, which is, I'm assuming, not who any of us want to be. I'm assuming that most of us want to be the ones pursued, or at minimum, be experiencing the specific person showing interest in being with you. Well, the way to get that is to become the you that expects that and shows up as that in reality. Meaning, again, never from the place of trying to force them. It's all about who you believe you are and what you're worthy of and what you deserve. And what you deserve is to be treated like a king or a queen. Always. That we receive respect, love, respect, attention, affection from our person. Not us begging for their attention, begging for their affection, and then get frustrated when they're not showing up the way we want. So what are we doing? We're just spending more time in desperate neediness. John, I don't think that's what you're doing. So please don't misunderstand how I got sidetracked on that. Nothing you said makes me feel like you're being desperate and needy. Just saying that. But we don't control how manifestations unfold. We control who we are, who we're showing up as, who we're choosing to believe we are. From there, how we view reality, in my opinion, should be every single thing I'm experiencing is leading me to my outcome. And sometimes that just might include you putting yourself first by saying, I'm not going to tolerate this, okay? Not going to tolerate it. If we have 1,000 excuses of why you can't hang out, I'm not going to ask you to hang out at all anymore. You are welcome to come contact me again, right? The door's not closed, but I'm not going to put myself in the beggar seat and then be shocked why I keep getting in positions where I'm begging for that person's attention. So proceed with putting all the focus on you and allowing that person, your specific person, to come to you. That's what I would do. What you do, though, is totally your business and no judgment. But when we don't want to be in a position of chasing, and I'm kind of half-ass answering another person at the same time, just so you know. If we don't want to be in a position of begging another person to be with us, I'm assuming none of us want that, right? If nothing else, we want to be begged, right? To experience someone pursuing you, it's getting to the place of believing you're worthy of that. You deserve that. That's your normal, to have someone pursue you. And again, this is not a negative energy. This is you knowing that you are amazing enough to have that person's attention. You're more than enough. It's totally normal for you to experience someone wanting to spend time with you, wanting to love you, choosing you out of everyone in the planet, choosing you. That's your normal. So you start carrying yourself like that's your normal. You start talking to yourself in here like that's your normal. And reality will reflect that to you, including the specific person. So when specific person isn't showing up the way you want, there is nothing wrong with setting that boundary of, okay, I'm kind of done here. I'm not going to keep pursuing you. Doors open. Okay, doors open. If you'd like to hang out with me, feel free to contact me. If I don't have plans, of course I would like to see you again, but I'm not going to beg anyone. Because when you know that you're the person that is worthy and deserving of being pursued, you don't feel like you have to pursue in order to keep that person talking to you. The person I used to be was the person that would blow up SP's phone to get their attention. And I couldn't understand why that wasn't working for me, why that wasn't bringing in this most amazing version of him. If anything, it felt like he was like, ugh, back off, bitch. Because I was being desperate and needy. So it resulted in shit for me to keep being desperate and needy about. Do you see what I mean? I was not showing up as the version of myself in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I was showing up as a hot mess express and then being mad at him because I was not anywhere near the state of the wish fulfilled. See what I mean? So John, I'm actually so proud of you for setting a boundary and backing up. And now we're allowing a specific person to come to you. And they will. That's what happened with SP last night. Silence now, trying to not worry. What happened? What happened last night? Yes, what you allow is what will continue. Yes. See, that's important. That's important too. That's a good point. If you're experiencing maybe a specific person like canceling on you consistently, I know that hurts. I know that sucks. Okay. If you're experiencing that and you want that to change, you want them to actually fulfill what they're saying, show up when they say they're gonna, call when they say they're gonna. You're probably in a habit of bracing for impact. Bracing. So every time they contact you, you're excited, but at the same time, now you're worried that they're not going to fulfill what they've said. Like, oh, maybe they're going to cancel the night before. So you got to work your way out of that bracing. And that means not begging them, not bugging them, not blowing up their phone like I used to do. Not blowing up their phone. Hey, are we still meeting tonight? Are we still getting together? Are we still doing this? Don't get me wrong. I can understand maybe doing that once. Just as a, maybe I'm crazy here. Here's a courtesy text. Are we still getting together? Okay, maybe once. But if that's something that's always happening, who do you really believe you are? And be honest with yourself. Because there's probably a good chance you are not being the self that knows their true worth. And trust me, on my channel, this is never about trying to tell you not to manifest someone. Okay? I am the pro-specific person community. I believe it's possible, clearly. I'm saying, though, any manifestation requires you to become what you want to experience, right? Because we don't manifest what we want, we manifest who we are. So if we believe that our specific person isn't choosing us, isn't prioritizing us, okay? Yes, I'm aware, okay, a limited belief existed at some point in our journey that we're experiencing this. So to get it to change, we become the version of ourselves that no longer has that belief, which might require us reminding ourselves that we're no longer that person. And if specific person doesn't immediately change, that doesn't mean that this has automatically not worked, that this has automatically failed. What it means is you don't control the unfolding. You control who you are. So if you view reality as, this isn't working, they're not changing, they're still not showing up when they say they're gonna, nothing's changing out here, then you're not changing. And all I mean by that is, in that moment, that's how you're perceiving reality. So who are you really? That's the paradox of manifestation. It's the paradox. And there might be an uncomfortable moment here and there where reality is showing you something you're not loving, and you will have to remind yourself of who you're choosing to be, or what the state of the wish fulfilled is, despite what reality is showing you. Those are pivotal moments. Pivotal. Because those are the moments that 90% of the people give up and quit and assume it failed and that it's not going to work. That's the most common time when people give up. And by give up, I don't mean just having a reaction. I mean like really giving up and throw it off as it never worked. Manifestation never worked. It never worked for me. I never got what I wanted. I wasted all that time. No, that's the state of the wish fulfilled that you chose. And now you're swimming in it. And you're super identifying with it now. It's not because manifestation fails. It doesn't. It never does. But you don't control the unfolding. You don't control the how. So if you're seeing shit you don't like in reality, stop assuming this isn't working. Because you, as source, are making that decision for yourself. That's the state you're choosing in that moment. And I know that's fuckery. And again, I know that can feel uncomfortable. I didn't like it either. But once I transcended those moments, I could see clearly how everything that I experienced was never by coincidence, ever. It was always a true reflection of who I really believed I was. So again, this isn't about beating up on yourself or being upset with yourself because a shitty circumstance is here. This isn't about you being afraid of having a shitty thought. Oh my God, what if it manifests? No. This means no matter what you see in reality, no matter how they're showing up, you stand in your decision with brazen impudence that you are who you say you are. And you won't let reality, you won't let what's happening tell you a different story. If they're not calling you, if they're not sticking to their plans, if you're manifesting money and the money's not here and bills are coming in instead, if they're canceling plans, you stand in your decision. You refuse to go back to your old thinking. This is the brazen impudence that Neville Goddard talks about. You stand in it. Even if you got to say it out loud, I don't care what is happening in 3D. I don't care. You canceled again? Okay, bitch. Okay. Just you wait. I am who I say I am. Period. I'm not going to text you and beg you to be with me. I'm not going to blow up your phone to get you to talk to me. I refuse that. I refuse to go back to my old habits. If blowing up their phone and begging them to be with you is something you've done and it has not worked for you yet, that's one of the habits we let go of. Your new self, the state of the wish fulfilled version of you, that version of you don't have to beg. That version of you gets to sit back and watch as they show up beautifully, choosing you, pursuing you. So if it's a habit of your old self, kick it to the curb. And it might feel uncomfortable the first time you do it. It was uncomfortable to me. I desperately wanted to blow up that phone, but I didn't do it because I knew it kept giving me the same results because I wasn't changing. You know what to do. Go back to who you want to be. I'm telling you, your reality will change. Think of those shit moments as a test. They're not really tests, but when you think of them as a test, that kind of empowers you to say, I ain't going to fail it. I'm not going to go and do what my old self would do. This SP is going to show up, keep their plans, and treat me like I deserve. And I deserve a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's what I deserve, and that's what I'm going to entertain only. Show up right, or go back in the oven and fix yourself as I am choosing to be the version of myself that I want to be. That's all I'm saying, okay? So, I have to go. Damn it, I have a call. I love live streams. Depending on my schedule, on maybe Thursday, I might come live again, okay? I'm sorry to leave you right in the middle of it. I feel like we just started talking. All I want you to know is this. manifestation is very real. You don't have to buy anything from me for it to work for yourself either. You don't have to spend a dime to get manifestation to work. It's all connected to who you really believe you are. That's all you ever need to know. When things don't look the way you want them to, who are you? Are you letting circumstances tell you that you're not the version of yourself that you want to be? If you're letting the circumstances tell you, if you're manifesting a specific person and you want to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, and you're letting circumstances say to you, I'm not that person yet. I'm not that person yet because my 3D doesn't look like that yet. So I'm not that person. You stop that shit today. That's your first problem. Stop that. You claim who you want to be no matter what the 3D is saying. This doesn't mean you have to ignore and pretend you're not living what you're living. It means don't let it tell you who you are. Don't let the 3D change your mind. You stand with brazen impudence. That's kind of the no fucks given. You're going to have what you want. You're hell bent on living the life you want. So you don't let the 3D push you around. And I am telling you, your life will change. You'll end up with exactly what you want. Okay, it works. Again, it works, and it works for free. Okay? All right, so I'm there. I gotta go. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm hoping to go live again either Thursday in the afternoon, later afternoon, or Friday. Okay? All right. Have a lovely day.